What do I think of the Rise of Skywalker update? I mean, it's fine. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the 4 reinforcements we got. And I don't know how to pronounce this map's name. I have to be honest with you. Adzen class? Whatever. I think it's really gorgeous. I think it's really good. I think it's a step in the right direction in terms of new map design. But like maybe the choice, I guess, to restrict it to just co-op for now, and HVV obviously, but then HVV plays a lot differently than co-op and like Capital Supremacy. It's also disappointing that the only CS maps we're going to get for the sequel trilogy is on Argent class and then just Jakku as an addition. I would really would have liked more maps at the launch of CS for the new trilogy. But either way, I'm excited to play on this new map with like actual real life players rather than bots and see how that turns out. I don't know, the whole update feels scattershot. Like, here are some things, but they're not in a complete package. Here's just a little topping up of reinforcements. Here's just an extra map for co-op. Here's just an announcement here and there that this is going to be there. I feel like if they had managed to get all the content, including CS, including the new heroes, out as one big package and launch it fully like they have for most of the updates, I think I would have been way more excited. But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on what they actually added and what I think about them. My favorite new reinforcement is the Spy, the KFX Spy, but it really plays super well. Its pistol, its mortar strike, and its rapid fire makes it feel like a mini Han Solo, which is definitely sort of my style. The slow rate of fire but high damage output makes you keep a distance from your enemies, so you can't go in rushing in there, which makes me really question the truncheon charge, because the rest of their abilities and their weapon and their speed and everything else is suited to playing at a medium range. Not long range, not short range, but medium range. So the truncheon surge is a baffling ability to a certain extent, because it's very much designed for in your face, which I feel like you shouldn't be getting into if you're playing as a spy. I mean, the mortar strike is there to keep enemies at a distance from you because you can't throw it that far. The rapid fire is definitely for this. If it's someone's approaching you and getting too close, you can use it to have more shots, scare them off much quicker. That being said, the Han-esque gameplay is definitely more my style, and I just slipped right into it. Aim for those headshots, guys. You'll really get that good damage done. It's a little bit frustrating that it isn't as powerful as Han, so the headshots aren't going to land quite as well, and I do think the rate of fire is perfect. It does need change. What needs changing is the heat size, the clip size. Basically, you need to be able to fire more before your weapon overheats, I think, because you run out of blasters bolts, I guess, way too fast. I think if they just doubled it, the Spy would be way more of a viable option for, okay, maybe doubling's going a bit too far, but you get my point. I think it would be way more of a viable option for everyone, and people wouldn't be complaining as much as they're doing if, I mean, I haven't seen that many people complain, to be fair, but it wouldn't be as much of an issue if they just increase the heat size, I guess. The Sith Trooper, holy shit, I did not like this when I first played it because it's definitely not my style. It's a very aggressive unit, and if you play that way, like I have more freedom to do in co-op and I started to, holy shit, it's one of the best additions to the game we've got. Its combat speed and then health on kill is so good. I've never felt more confident approaching a group of enemies than I have with the Sith Trooper. Its Seeker tactics are like literally Seeker tactics. It's literally the middle ability personified. It's literally what it should be. That's what it should be. It should reveal to you. There are infiltrators. It should reveal to you where the enemies are in a way that makes sense for this game. And I think because the Sith Troopers came out now, DICE realizes this is the best way to like reveal enemies for like the meta of this game. So yeah, my favorite ability of the Sith Trooper is actually their Seeker instincts. The fact that it extends after more kills you get just makes sense. It's not an incentive to push you forward to kill those enemies that you've identified. Not as much. It's just a product of what you're naturally going to be doing with the Sith Trooper. Since it's so aggressive, you're going to be killing, so it's going to be adding more and more targets onto you, because once you've killed that initial 4, you're not going to have any more targets. I don't feel like it's incentive. I think it's more just, oh, this is what has to be done. The concussion grenade like is a bit of balancing to the Sith Trooper since it's so good already. It doesn't do shit for damage, but like it's more tactical in that it does reduce the health regeneration time. The fire speed I think is perfectly balanced by the fact you can't aim down sights, because if you try to aim down sights, all that you'll do is have this bit of a weak lock-on blaster shot. I would say it's only similar to layers in how like it fires, because it doesn't lock on that well and doesn't do anything for damage, but it is good for just scaring off people from a distance. The rapid fire nature of the primary fire definitely complements the unit as a whole. Then on the first order side, the new Jet Trooper is wow, just so amazing. I love how fluid they feel. Primary blasters, bit of a struggle to get used to, and the tri-shot lobbed grenades, or whatever the right ability is, definitely take some getting used to. But once you get used to it, it's a nice addition. It doesn't really do that much damage, it's just more to scare people off. But I don't really like the ability at all, I have to be honest. It doesn't do too much damage, and it curves way too much. But I suppose you don't have to use it. The primary blaster, like I said, I'm a bit disappointed of how little damage it does, but I guess you're so smooth in the air, you're so fast, you have the ability to maneuver so quickly now with this new jet trooper, which plays so much better than the other jet troopers, being able to control when you use your jetpack and not just launch off in either or direction. It gives you a massive advantage. So I'm fine with like the blasters being weak, because I've still gone on pretty decent kill streaks with the jet trooper. It's always fun to play. The tackle ability is a bit frustrating because you have to hit dead on. It doesn't have like that shoulder charge hitbox that Han Solo has, so you definitely can just swoosh right past an enemy. It's a bit frustrating, and then you don't have any damage reduction while it happens as well. I don't know if there's a star card that like reduces damage reduction, but it's a really fun ability either way. It is always hilariously fun to ram into a hero in co-op and just watch them be knocked down, and being rammed by them yourself is pretty funny too. So overall, I really enjoy the new jet troopers. Which leaves us on to our last reinforcement that we got, the gunner. First off, the gunner's health is 420. Nice. The choice to have a minigun as the primary blaster was a bold one, but it certainly is very, very fun right now, and surprisingly balanced. I haven't seen many obstructions in any of the maps in GA that I've played with them on. I think the fact that it takes a while to start up the blaster fire once you actually hold down the trigger is definitely a big factor in that. The abilities are fantastic, especially in co-op. That last phase in Argent class I don't think would be possible if you didn't have the health on damage ability that you get. The ability to run shoulder charge essentially is also surprisingly pretty good, works pretty well. Again, you don't get damage reduction, so be wary of it. And the final ability, the Iron Shot, is a lifesaver, because not many heavies these days actually, especially on the sequel trilogy maps, go after the ATSTs or any of the vehicles. So be able to have a reinforcement where you can easily switch to that is a godsend. I don't know, it just feels really fun to play. It doesn't feel clunky, doesn't feel obstructive. It gets to getting used to, definitely, that you can't just immediately fire, and the middle ability lasts not as much as you'd expect in the moment, which I guess is a good thing. You don't want it to be too overpowered. Surprisingly, it's the reinforcement I had the most fun with, even though I like the KFX spy the most. The Sith Trooper definitely won my heart with a different playstyle that I'm not used to, and the Jet Trooper feels buttery smooth, and holy shit, I just want a whole game that controls so well with like the the Jet Trooper controls just like a single player. That would be fantastic. That would be amazing. But the gunner is like the face of this update, and you can see why. It works so well, and definitely a lot of love was poured into it by CJ and the rest of the crew, and again, I'm really grateful for it. So that's my thought on the whole update. Individually, the parts definitely really fun, really enjoyable. Nothing too game changing, but definitely new and fresh enough. But I do feel, however, it's separate enough. It doesn't feel like the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. In fact, the parts feel much greater than what the sum actually brings. I don't know, maybe it'll feel better when the new heroes are released. Gonna be interesting with the droids, but I don't know, it doesn't really stick out in my mind too much. Hopefully it will when I get more time with the game, but I have a feeling it's really all gonna come together, and the game's really gonna excite me with its new content when all of it releases later. On a side note though, I am happy that this is the update out of all the updates. I mean, I guess it makes sense coming with the movies. That's getting people really interested in this game again. New reviews from IGN, big content creators just playing it again. It's fantastic to see. And hopefully this will be the catalyst for this game surviving long into the future.